Oh my goodness. It's episode 1 of Living Beyond with Hope. I am so darn excited. So stay tuned while we dig into what this podcast is about, how it will benefit you on your personal health journey, and why in the world this girl named Hope decided to start this podcast. You're listening to Living Beyond with Hope. Hey, that's me.
Welcome to the podcast. This podcast is meant to help you realize you're more than a label, and you too can create a life you love despite it. Each week, we bring you tips and inspiring messages to help you take the positive steps in your health that will allow you to live beyond. Now sit back, relax, meal prep, or take a walk as you dig into today's topic with your host, a gal living her life to the fullest with type 1 diabetes, Hope Mangiafico.
Welcome to the Living Beyond with Hope podcast. I am so darn excited to start this. It's something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I am so grateful for you taking the time to join me here. This first episode is going to be pretty brief, but I want to give you an idea of what to expect moving forward from this podcast. So for starters, my name is Hope, and I like to teach people as a wellness activist how to live beyond their labels. Now you may be thinking, Hope, what in the world does that mean? Because it's kind of like a new language. Well, I have a label in my life. I was placed with the label type 1 diabetes in 2002. And since then, I have had such a passion and drive to help other people who either have a diagnosis such as diabetes that has to be integrated in life every day and has the potential to make you feel like it is controlling every area of your life. And I'll tell you, it certainly can feel that way, but I have learned how to love life with a label and how to live beyond it. But with that being said, this podcast is not only for people who have a clinical diagnosis. Labels can be self-limiting. They can be self-identified. So you could just consider yourself lazy or unhealthy or depressed or negative or low self-esteem. And these are labels that if you identify with them, you are not going to be able to live to your full potential. So everything that I teach is applicable to whether you have a diagnosis or if you have a label that you've placed on yourself and you've found your worth in, because each and every area of this podcast will help you live beyond that. The plan for this podcast is to go live, and each time having a new episode full of great information. There will be some diabetes-specific episodes sprinkled throughout because that is my specialty. But you'll also find tips about motivation and inspiration, as well as nutrition and exercise information, because I will tell you that when you combine these 3 areas, you will succeed. And it's not just one, it's a combination of all of them. So on this podcast, each week, multiple times a week, you will find exactly what you will need to live beyond with these elements added to your life. But what I want to make sure of is that no matter what, all of this information is something that you can apply to your label. With that being said, every episode will typically be under 20 minutes. Now, if there's an interview, which I plan on doing 2 interviews every month to bring you somebody who has a label and to have them share their story. Because I don't know about you, but I know that throughout my journey with my label, I quickly learned how powerful it is to hear how other people have learned how to overcome their diagnosis or their depression or their low self-esteem and learn how to utilize some of their tools and resources. So it is my pleasure to be able to bring people to you who are just like you and are learning how to figure things out for themselves as well. And again, each episode will never typically be over 20 minutes long because I want you to be able to absorb it all and implement it right away. Because the minute you start truly absorbing this information, you will no longer feel defined by your label. And as I hear so often from people, labels make you feel not normal and not like the rest of the world. And I hate that because we are special, but not in a what you would consider a special way. We're special because we have a special mindset, and I like to think that we have special powers and ability to understand the world in a new way. And I'm so excited to help you come to that realization yourself as well. So I want to welcome you to Living Beyond with Hope. I'll be your host with a special guest here and there, but all in all, I want you to feel like you can live beyond, and there is indeed hope for you. If you want to learn more about this podcast moving forward, you can always go to www.livingbeyondwithhope.com, and there you can find show notes and links and resources that will help you live beyond. You can also learn more about me and kind of what I do and learn more about my story, which I'll definitely share down the line. But you can learn more about me at www.hopemangiafico.com, and I'll spell that for you. It's HOPEMANGIAFICO. And you can read up on me, read blog posts, and hopefully start to realize how possible and what endless opportunities there are and endless possibilities for you to live beyond. I'm so grateful for you as a listener. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be able to chat with you, to become friends with you, and to hopefully pour into you in a new way. It is time to stop thinking about your label as something negative, as something that requires you to maybe take medication, to go see your doctor, to continually be limited. And it is time for you to start feeling your absolute best because it's possible. And I am here to instill in you the right mindset to help you remember all that you are capable of. I think we're going to be great friends, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode. Thanks so much for hanging out just a little bit longer. I greatly appreciate it. If you found this episode helpful or even a little bit life-changing, it would mean the world to me to have a review in iTunes. A review in iTunes just lets me know that I am actually providing you with the correct guidance and mentorship that you need to live beyond your label and to be confident in who you are. This episode was also brought to you by my next step guide in embracing your label with confidence, which is called Choose to Live. In Choose to Live, there is a checklist of what to ask your doctors. There's an audiobook. So if you like podcasts, an audiobook filled with affirmations to remind you of who you truly are, what you're really made of, as well as some really like homework and checklist and guidance for your family members so that they can support you along the way. This episode was about community, and you cannot do this journey alone. So if you're interested in learning more about Choose to Live, just visit www.icanlivebeyond.com, and you can find that in the show notes as well at livingbeyondwithhope.com. And otherwise, I will see you on the next episode.